Hello and welcome to this tutorial. Now let me just select that and turn the mirror off. We've pretty much finished this compartment, apart from the final texturing. It's quite a simple affair really, so we don't want to overcomplicate it and add too much to the mesh. One or two details we might need to think about is the communication cord, which would sit round about here. Now we can either punch a hole in the mesh and create a cord there, or map it onto the side of the inner wall of the compartment. Don't know what to say to do that with that yet. I'm going to leave that late on so I can see what the triangle count for the whole thing is before we do things like that. The other thing is sometimes you do get like the sort of frame posters that sit along there under the luggage rack and between the head of the seat back. Often advertising away days to the seaside and things like that. I'm not going to put any in here for the sake that you'll only run into copyright problems, so it's not worth it. It's probably just best to leave it plain, or if you've got something that you can mock up yourself, do it yourself so that it's not a copyrighted poster that you're using. And there might be one or two tiny little bits that we need to add here. You could even put ashtrays in, because in those days you would have had smoking and non-smoking compartments. I'm not going to bother with that sort of thing, to be honest. I've put mirrors on everything, so we've mirrored it on this side as well. That includes the outside frames there. They're mirrored on this side, so we've got both sides. I think I've got them the wrong way round. I usually like to put the mesh on this side, on the left hand side as you look at it, so that when you look at it in a cut view, you're looking inside and everything is still there, whereas if you have to turn all this off, you can turn it off over here. But that's just personal preference. Okay, I'm sort of going on there. That's it as far as that goes. Make sure you start to name that, put your naming conventions. Remember, I haven't done it for everything. Some I've left at 500, but really I'm going to talk about level of detail in some length later on when we get nearer to finishing this, because we're going to need to create different levels of detail, but just for now, make sure you're putting the top level of detail, and really it would be about 32 meters. So sometimes when you export these without level of detail, it'll put it as 1,000. Okay, but they will need to be smaller than that, the draw distance, if you like. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, before we carry on, because I want to do one or two things in blueprints and in the train sim. Some of that is going to be adding passengers here. Some of it's about lights and things like that. But I'm going to put a little bit more detail on the outside just to get it to look a bit more. Now what we want to do, we want to create the vents here. Okay, now this is going to be a pre-1960 version of the 307. Now one of the differences, it has no head code here in the center between the two windows. That's what it did after 1960. It had a head code there. That wasn't on the earlier models, but it's got some grab rails here that we need to put on, and it's also got some vacuum pipes for the brakes and that on the front there, so we need to do those. These windows we cut square because on the inside they are square, but on the outside they've got a curved frame, so we've got to do something similar to this, okay, on the front, and the curve has got to cover the squareness of that opening, okay, so that's what we need to do, so they look curved from the front there. But first what we're going to do is to put the vents on top here. Now and one more thing, in the 1960s the fronts were yellow here, because I think that was part of safety, health and safety, was to have the yellow front, and I think the roof was a sort of dark grey, very dark grey. Now I've got a feeling on these early ones, I've only got black and white samples, and they're not really great images, but I think the roof was probably green rather than the dark grey. I don't know, I don't think it matters. But the other thing is the vents. The vents I couldn't really decide what they were like. I don't know. They don't look like the typical shell type vent, and they certainly don't look like the torpedo type vent, and then there's another, I'm not sure what you call it, but the other type, classic vent, is almost like a mushroom sort of shaped. If anything, they probably look more like that, but I'm not sure. What I do know is that I've got a photo from 1961, or I've seen a photo from 1961, and definitely they did have shell vents on that one, okay, and I can't remember where it was. I think it was something like Stratford. The image was from. It's on one of the sites, and I'll perhaps put a link, but you know, you can go and have a look at them, but they're for paid. You know, you can buy it if you want, but obviously you can look at the image on the site so you get an idea. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the shell type of vent. Okay, so what that means is, let me just make sure I've saved this. Let me save that like that. Okay, so now we're going to need to open up a new project. I'm not going to do them in here because I might want to use them again. So I'll create a new project just for the vent, okay, and then I'll import them in. So let's go and create that new project. So now to do the roof vents. I know after 1960 that they were shell type, so I'm going to create that sort of vent, but I'm going to simplify it as much as possible to keep the geometry down, and this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to disappear on my monitor so I can see the rollout when I bring it up. So mesh, UV sphere, and I've gone 16 by 8 segments. I did it before, so I'll keep that setting, and let's go side on. What I want to do is let's deselect. Let's just grab these, make sure you're on X-ray mode so you're selecting all the way through, and we just want to go duplicate, okay, and then mesh separate by selection, okay, and then the one we've just made there, let me just rotate it 90 degrees like that. Okay, we want to get rid of half of it, so let me go point mode, B. Actually what you should do is always do the Alt A to make sure nothing's selected. Okay, B, let's just X and delete vertices, and now I'm just going to scale this down a bit, just make it a bit smaller than the outside. There we go, and now do the same. Let's get rid of this bottom half, X and vertices. So there we go. Now What I want to do is I want to form a lip around here. So let me select that. Okay, side on. Let's go E and enter, scale, and just just judge. That's it. E and Z. There we go. And just bring it down to there. Okay, so that's it. What I want to do is let's select that and put a face on it. Okay, same here. Select this side, F, put a face on it. Okay, and there we have it. So now what we do is we put some shading on, shade smooth. Okay, and let's add auto smoothing on both of those. Yep, so that's yep, and let's just join them together now. So Control and J. Okay, and just make sure the auto smoothing's set. So there we go, there is our vent. Okay, very simple, and it's 222 triangles, which is not bad at all. We've got quite a few of these, so we don't want it to be too big. That should do us. We can't get it much smaller than that, and that's a vent. Okay, so what we will need to do is we need to roughly make this about 4 to 6 inches. So 6 inches is 2.5 sems to the inch. So 5 sems is 2 inches. Okay, times 3 is 15 sems. So if we want to scale it respectively, so we don't want to, we want to scale this completely. So I'm going to just scale it, okay, till we get something like 15 sems on the X and the Z. Okay, so scale, and it wants to be 0.15. Okay, so there we go, we're getting there. There we go, 0.15. That is roughly correct. That is 6 inches. Okay, and if you don't believe me, there we go, add a UV sphere, make it 6 inches. 6 inches by 6 inches. Okay, by 6 inches. There we go, and that's it. So there we go, grab Y. Okay, yep, so it's roughly 6 inches. Okay, I did that as much for my benefit as yours, to make sure I got the measurement right. So yep, that's right. Oh, let me delete that one. There we go. So that's it, 6 inches. That will do us. Okay, so now we save this and import it into our other blend file, our main blend file, and we'll put a texture on it. I'm not sure, probably just put a green on there. I'm not sure if they were metallic or not. I cannot say. I've only seen black and white images of the early days of these vehicles, so it will probably be painted the same colour as the carriage or the roof. So that's it. Okay, so let's go into the main blend. Okay, so now we want to add the vent, so I'm going to append that. Let's go append, and shell vent new. There we go, in there, object, and there it is, shell vent. Okay, so just bring that up then and bring it towards the front. Now let me just bring it right up. There we go. Now I said 6 inches for this originally, and I look at it in relation to the train and it looks a bit small. So I reckon it's probably better to be about 9 inches. Okay, so let me just reset the scaling and the rotation on this. Okay, and let me now 8 inches is 20 and 9 inches is about 22.5. So let's scale this up, okay, to something like 22. Yep, that would be 9 inches. Okay, and let's have a look. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. I think that's a better size. Okay, so let's just bring that up. Let's bring it across and probably there, I suppose. Let's rotate that. Okay, let's put it on normal, and that's it. Let's take it up a bit there and rotate it a little bit. Yeah, that's probably it. Let's go down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so move that back. Let's line it up with the door. There we go. Okay then, yeah, that's perhaps right then, about 9 inches. Okay, right, let's give it a material. Let's put the temp text on and let's go there and let's select it. Okay, there we go. Let's bring up that material. There it is. And oops, my mouse was over there. Let me make sure I haven't scaled that. No, that's right. So scale this UV, grab, put it there, and there we have it. There we go. There is our vent. So that's one. Let's add a mirror to it. Okay, mirror modifier. So mirror, and wants to be a universal mirror. So there we go, universal mirror, and it wants to be oh, I got two. I seem to have two mirrors. I got the wrong one. Let me undo that. In fact, I'll delete that one. I put the mirror on the vehicle. All right, there we go. Let's do it properly. Okay, universal mirror. There we go, and that's it. So that's that. Okay, let's duplicate it. Okay, move it back at the start of the passenger compartments. There we go, and now let's add an array. Okay, wants to be a fixed, constant offset. And it's going to be that magic number that we've used all the way, which is minus 1.916. okay, that's the distance between each compartment. Now you'll notice that it doesn't look right. That's because the scaling, we altered the scaling, so we've got to reset that. So A, and reset the scaling, and there we go, it's in the right place now. So there we go, just add we want 9 of them. There we go, and that should take us right the way down the vehicle. Okay, and there is our vents. Okay, so that being so, we should be set. I'm wondering if I should have brought that down there, but we can always do it later. I'm not sure. I'll reference the photo that I've got to see whether they want to come down here a bit more. Okay. So inside there would be like a grill type vent. I don't think we'll create it. If we do, it'll be a simple cylinder, and we'll map a grill onto it, but we won't actually create that. It'd be wasteful of our geometry count. Okay, so that's it then. That's it. Let's move on to having a look at creating the window surrounds and the furniture at the front of the vehicle. So that's what we'll do next.